Look what arrived here, the Oppo Find X9 Ultra, finally in my studio. And yes, I was a bit too excited with the unboxing knife to have this opened up. And this is my fresh first look of the Oppo Find X9 Ultra. So let's do the quick unboxing of this very glorious device. As you see, I'm doing everything ad hoc here. And let's lift it and let's see what we find here. Of course, we find the Find X9 Ultra device in this box. You see how much larger this box is in comparison also to the Find X8 Ultra that I have. You see, it's like 2 times the size of the Find X8 Ultra, which also shows a bit the ambitions that they have with the Find X9 Ultra. So let's lift this up and see what we have underneath here. Of course, we have our warranty card, and then we have the device itself, Oppo and Hasselblad. Let's put this aside. And here we find also what comes included. Our power brick here, 100-watt charging, fast, quick charging. The Chinese plug there. USB-A, come on Oppo, we are living in 2026 and you just ship USB-A to C still. That's a bit of a shame. SIM eject tool as well, and then of course we have, because this is the Chinese variant, thanks to TradingShenzhen by the way, you find a link down below if you want to get it a bit cheaper. You will find also the paper material here, as well as a case, and you see already this is a bit of an orange case here because I have the orange variant. So let's lift this phone out of here, and here you see already the orange variant, and yeah, this is the window usually for the EMI sticker that I have hidden already. Let's get this unwrapped here. There we go, and there you can see probably one of the first YouTubers outside of China that is showing you the orange version of the Oppo Find X9 Ultra. Look how nice this looks like. Has a bit of a pattern there. And yeah, the Oppo logo you can feel because it's sticking out quite a bit, where the rest has this nice orange kind of pattern, but you don't feel it. Very nice matte glass. Also feels nice to the touch. And then we have this gorgeous kind of screen there. This here feels also very nice. Has a bit of a ripple effect there. Microphone still hidden here towards the side. We have this action button here. Then we have still orange accent color, the fake button for clicking a photo. Power button, volume rocker. Flash. The flash is also sticking out of the housing a bit, as you see there. So yeah, and they can see also the pattern there on the camera lens from the side. Very nice device, and I think I just start off by getting some nice camera shots with this one. And while it's booting, oh, it booted up already. I just wanted to show you a little bit a comparison. Find X9 Ultra versus Find X8 Ultra that was used for filming previously. I'm using the Find X7 Ultra now for filming. You see that the camera bump got really a little bit larger in dimensions. So this dimension especially, this one is a bit thinner. This one is rounder as well. This here also a little bit. And of course we have those large sensors here that got even larger, as you see here, just from the side there. Otherwise, yeah, still the action button there, still this one. But this here, yeah, gives you nice feedback. This one also should give you a nice feedback, same feedback as before. Let's see, TradingShenzhen already put their effort into this nice display, gorgeous display. Let's unlock it here, and yeah, we have the quick button. Actually, this is called quick button here. I would call it camera key. It will guide you through everything in here, and you have the ability to just use the phone. Very nice and thin bezels there. A very flat screen, flatter than that on the predecessor. The predecessor was already a bit flat, but had quite some curves to it. Let's check out the predecessor. You see, also very, very flat, but had a bit more curves to it. Still, also towards the side a little bit. And in terms of like, yeah, I have the case on, but still you see that almost identical there in terms of the edges there and the sides. Yeah, anyway, I will copy everything over from the Find X9 Ultra to the 9 Ultra, because I'm taking the 9 Ultra to China, to my trip in China this month, in a few days. And then I will go out and do some videos, also get this connected to Wi-Fi and install the latest version. Well, it's downloading the latest update. I just wanted to show you the case, and I put it on now. You will see that it will fit nicely, and it is protruding a little bit to protect the camera. Also the flash a little bit, or I think the flash might scratch here on the surface a little bit. But it's protruding above the camera, and you see that, yeah, it looks very, very nice here with the camera bump. We have the Oppo logo also slightly a little bit sticking out. You can feel it with your hand there. Very nice and orangey, also the sides and everything nicely cut out here towards the sides. Also the button very clicky here. This button, volume rocker, the power button, very clicky, as well as a large opening that doesn't feel bad for the camera, that you can open up with this one. And yeah, overall I think I like this case. All the cases from Oppo were very, yeah, quality wise very good. We have the cutout for the mics there, for the speaker. No issues at all with this one. So very nice case as well. 4K 60 frames per second now here on the Oppo Find X9 Ultra front-facing camera, and this one here has autofocus. Hopefully we can zoom in 1x and 2x. Here has nice zoom animations, and yeah, autofocus should work. This is it's a bit slow I think, but it's working. The front-facing camera here on the Oppo Find X9 Ultra. I have an external mic plugged in. Nice wide field of view. I like that very much. And during recording, finally we have the ability to switch also to the back-facing cameras, which is something that the Find X9 Ultra didn't do. So let's do it. So there you can see it's switching to the 1x lens there, and stabilization is looking very fine. Let's go into vlogging style. So what do you think about this one here? Nice background blur, even though we have a bit of a smaller sensor, 1.12 inch size sensor instead of a 1 inch type sensor that we had on the Find X8 Ultra still. But what do you think about the background blur? A nice aperture. It's a bit of a cloudy day, warmish but cloudy day here in Wesel, Germany. And yeah, of course, vlogging style, you can also switch to the ultra wide angle pretty easily. Just press it here. Cool thing here on the back-facing cameras is, besides 4K 30 and 4K 60, we have now 4K 120 frames per second and even 8K 30 frames per second recording, which is quite cool. So this is the ultra-wide angle, the weakest sensor besides the front-facing camera that we have on this device. What do you think? Now a little zoom test here. Ultra-wide angle. Let's try to zoom in and see what's in the cinema. So directly switching to 3x here, and then we can go 6x. Then we can go to the 10x sensor, which is a new sensor they have added in here, which is really 10x and a very large one, a very stable one especially. So you can read everything hopefully. If you go even further, this is 20x now. And I can even go to up to 30x, which is very, very cool on this device. Let's go back to 1x here. Very smooth animations as well, and transitions look pretty good. First impressions of the photos. We start off with the ultra-wide angle on the Find X9 Ultra, 40mm f2. As you see here, this cloudy day, we're a little bit struggling with HDR, but it was a cloudy day, so it's very bright and the sky looked like that. In the middle, it's nice and sharp, nice and detailed. For an ultra-wide angle, not too shabby. Towards the sides, getting a little bit soft, but still readable, so it's not doing too bad, I would say. But for sure, I can tell you from first glance, Vivo, even the X200 Ultra's ultra-wide angle is doing better there. Then the 10X I tried out, a new sensor here, and this one is like doing a fine job, nice and detailed there, and lots of details for sure. Then selfie, 21mm, nice and wide, I like that very much. It looks like a bit overblown there, the background there, so HDR might be not the best there, but the nice details here on my face are just like breathtaking for that matter. It has even a little bit of background blur there because we have an autofocus. It can focus on my face very nicely. Then we have a 3x shot here, 70mm, nice and detailed as well. Yeah, Weasel, the mascot. And using now here for, I think it's a dentist advertisement. And then 139mm, so this is 6x zoom just to try this out. The little details here, even like the flower of this olive cafe bistro is visible, not too shabby, not too digitized looking, a little bit blurry there, just like an optical zoom should do, even though it's just a 2x crop. And then we take it to the extreme, more than 10x here. This is 20x, and nice and detailed. I also like that you can read all the logos here. The QR codes are readable. You cannot read what's down here. It's a bit of a bummer, but here you can read it. And then you can even go 30x. You see like the AI now kicking in and optimizing stuff, but the QR codes are still readable. You can try them. It should work and give you different websites there. And then another selfie now in portrait mode. Cutout is a bit of weird here around my hair. This is why I took another one here. And this one here, better. As you see, my hair's a bit weird, but yeah, it's doing better. The background blur is quite a little bit much, f2.8, but I set it up to f2.8. So I think by default it's f4.5. Set it up a bit different here. 2x crop on the main camera sensor. The main camera sensor, so far what I can see, is doing a nice job. It's not looking too digitalized or having any issues in comparison to the 1-inch type sensor that we had before. And then a 35mm portrait shots here as well, using the f4 aperture then. Also 35mm I think is doing fine. You see a little bit of, maybe a bit of artificially adding my eyebrows there, but it's just so subtle. I like the hair cutout. It's also doing very nice there. And the face color is looking nice and realistic. Then close-up shots. I'm surprised how great these are, but we have like a very large sensor here for telephoto with a large aperture f2.2, and you get like the sharpness and detail and the focus fall off that's like so gradual that you have to add another mode where you can say no natural blur, just try to make more sharp, which is probably necessary. So probably will take different focus levels there to make the whole picture a bit sharper, or have more in focus basically, because we have such a large sensor. But you can get large shots, close-up shots. Main camera sensor, just to see the bokeh there. First of all, focusing is working nicely. Bokeh a bit busy, maybe a bit over sharpened looking there, but still, I really have to say I don't see a huge difference to the 1-inch type sensor, but we have to see 1-to-1 comparison to see it here. But on first glance, I don't see much of a difference there between those two. And this is like macro shots for 10 times zoom is also possible. It is a cropping in from the telezoom lens. It's from the first telezoom lens, not from the 10x, but still, it's impressive what it's pulling out here in terms of detail levels and the nice creamy background blur. And this is what I was photographing here, one of those. It's just simply amazing. Then a bit of street photography, ultra wide angle again, just to see how good it's doing. I think it is fine for daylight. It's working nice and sharp, nice and detailed towards the sides. Yes, getting a bit soft there for sure. But I think the AI and smart algorithms are sharpening things up without being too dramatically over sharpened or artificial looking. It's okay for an ultra wide angle. Then the main camera sensor, 23mm. This is what it does with bright red colors. It's overdoing it a little bit. You see, like, it's uniform red. It's not, it's just a bit too much in my opinion. But every smartphone camera basically in its default mode is struggling with this. So I switched here for this example to the master mode, Hasselblad master mode. And this is what you get with the master mode. You see much better reds. You see the highlights more. It's not like this uniform red here. It's like just too much. Here it is exactly what I saw, this more orangey red of this Vodafone shop here, mascot. And the rest is like taken with the master mode as well. The ultra wide angle here is much softer. As you see here, this is real what the ultra wide angle is doing. So you see it's not so sharp. In the center it's sharp relatively, but towards the side it's getting very, very soft. It's a bit dark because HDR is a bit limited here, maybe even completely turned off. But I like this shot so far. It's like an honest shot, let's say it like this. 10x here, using the 10x sensor, fantastic shot. Without much processing, without a lot of noise, you can see all the details on this media tower or television tower. Fantastic shot. The main camera sensor as well, without much editing, without much sharpening applied, and the natural bokeh here, it definitely can rival with 1-inch type sensors, I think. And this is now interesting because before it was not you were not able really to crop in digitally in master mode, but now you are able to do that at 10x another time, so 20x, which is an in-sensor zoom, I think, that they're hopefully utilizing there. It's a bit, I think, misfocused because I think it's focusing on the back then. It's a bit painted looking there, even in master mode. There I expect a little bit better, but in general I think it's doing a fine job. Even here, this shot with the 3x sensor, the little details are readable. It's not so much heavily processed there, which is pretty cool here. And yeah, everything nice and readable, everything nice and done. There's now 6x crop, 2x crop on the 3x sensor, and it's doing also a fine job. Keep in mind this is the master mode, so yeah, bit softer, not so much sharpened up, but still doing a very nice job. Reminds me a lot of a typical camera with a slight vignetting on the side and this more contrasty kind of look. I like it very much. And then this shot, you also 6x, you know this motive already that I'm photographing almost all my nighttime or low light photos. Doing a fine job as well. Then 10x for portraits, definitely something that you can take and use as well. Blurry a little bit here in this case. People are walking around and it was 1/100th of a second. Yeah, keep in mind probably with more processing of the main photo mode, it might sharpen this a little bit more up and it might look a bit clearer, but it's more natural looking that way. So in general, I think in terms of photos, pretty solid. What those Chinese manufacturers do very well, like Oppo, is cloning one phone to another. So this is the Find X8 Ultra and this is the Find X9 Ultra, and I'm copying all my data except the video and photo files from here to here, so I don't really have to do almost anything like logging into all those applications. Most of them, at least, is working automatically. Very, very nice tool, and it's very, very fast. As you see here, the speeds are around 100 megabytes per second, which is quite fast. We have a fast ultrasonic fingerprint scanner that we can just add like this, and you see how quick this is working. And I'm done already with the fingerprint scanner, and then if I want to unlock this one, can simply unlock this by just holding my finger there for a few seconds and it's unlocking. Very fast screen unlock, but also 2D face unlock is also quite quick, as you see here. So it's showing the open lock symbol there and it's unlocking very, very fast, as you see here. Very nice indeed. I've now binaural recording. We want to try out the speakers of the Find X9 Ultra, so let's start it.
System check. Frequency wide, bass, drop, crisp highs hitting like a laser beam, pure mids flowing like a silent stream, feel the pulse steady in the deep, the hardware wakes, no time to sleep, LL Techview, hear the sound, turn it up, turn it all around.
Okay, I think it's pretty loud and the mids are there for sure, but bass is a bit of lacking here. I heard better. I'm a bit more disappointed about the haptic engine. The Find X9 Ultra in comparison to the 8 Ultra is a downgrade. I had to move the slider for intensity a little bit up in order to feel anything when typing on my keyboard, where here it is feeling much better. It's not as strong as some others like Xiaomi 17 Ultra, that is way better there. One of the best actually in this category, but even the Huawei Mate 80 Pro Max has better haptics than Both of them very comparable to the Find X8 Ultra, but a little bit better, the Huawei. And this one here is definitely a downgrade. It's not as bad as the Vivo X200 Ultra, so a tiny bit better there, but still it's a bit of a downgrade when you're coming from the X8 Ultra. I know you might know all the specs, but I want to show you them anyway a little bit. Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5, of course, 7050 mAh battery, silicon carbon tag inside of here, 16 gigs of RAM. I have the 512 gig version here. And as you see here, 50 megapixel front, 200 megapixel, 50 megapixel, 200 megapixel, 50 megapixel, and 3.2 megapixels. This is the multi-spectrum color sensor inside of there. Yeah, we have high resolution. We have charging, first of all, 100 watt charging and 50 watt AirVook charging, wireless charging on board, and 6.82 inch AMOLED screen, 144 hertz refresh rate. We can take a look at this on the display here, and we have eye care, comfort eye care here, bedtime, eye comfort, and we can turn on schedule for that as well. High PWM dimming, and the screen refresh rate can go really high, and you have app specific options here as well, run at 120 or even 144 hertz, I think is possible here to have this running. Video color boost is there, image sharpener is there, you can turn it on, and of course the screen resolution can be turned up to high as well, which will use Quad HD+. It's using a little bit of more energy, but who cares with such a high battery capacity. My first impressions, Find X9 Ultra. You see my smile on my face coming from the cameras, because the cameras are really an upgrade, especially the 200 megapixel 1/1.28 inch sized sensor, large sensor, and yeah, even though it's only 70 millimeter, it's a great sensor, especially also in low light. It's working very nicely. I like also the 10X, even though it doesn't have the largest sensor there, might struggle in low light. At least in daylight, it's a real beneficial kind of thing, and it's beating the 17 Ultra. Spoiler alert, I will do a camera comparison already. In terms of, yeah, who can zoom in most and has something that is usable, this one can beat this one here. But you might be surprised on other things. Yeah, is it a downgrade? The main camera sensor, slightly smaller sensor, but 200 megapixels. We have to find out still, because the zooming in or croppability of the 200 megapixel sensor might be quite interesting, especially when it comes to portrait shots in between, yeah, 23 and then the usual 70 or 69 millimeters. Everything else here is pretty much very solid, but not a huge upgrade. Like the display got a bit brighter in peak brightness, and I think also the typical brightness of 1800 nits is a bit brighter than a bit more dim lit situations that I had with the Find X8 Ultra, that by the way is filming right now, A-roll most of the time with the Find X8 Ultra. If it wasn't in the shot, then I put it away already, the Find X7 Ultra was filming both of those here. Anyway, haptics, a bit of a downgrade sadly, and the sound also not so much. There's bass lacking there. Haptics is just a little bit of a downgrade there, still a bit disappointing, but the speakers is like, hopefully they will fix it with EQ or give us an EQing option there. Maybe they do something like Huawei here with free options there. Would be very nice. Anyway, do you have to get the Find X9 Ultra if you have the Find X8 Ultra or this one here? Definitely not. Everything else, camera comparisons and other things, pretty soon. If you have some questions or comments, put them down in the comments. Until the next time, bye.